I'm doing a little writer challenge.
Wake up,
I'm
it's a
doing a few
long
actually.
night, darling. Wake
This
up,
one's on
it's the
Peliplat.
brightest sky.
This is for
Oh, love, it's a
a
dark
long
night,
time
darling.
ago in a
Hold
galaxy
on
far,
to me
far
for
away,
dear
writing challenge
life.
on Peliplat.
Wake up, where do we go to?
A long
Wake
time
up,
ago
fire,
in a
fire in
galaxy
your
far,
eye.
far away.
Oh, love,
Write
we will
articles
try
and
to
win
come and
$800
save you.
USD each month.
It's all
Valid
just a
during May of
matter of
2025.
time. Wake up,
What if you got
won't
to
you
make your
listen
own
to the
Star Wars movie?
people?
Jedi
Wake
or
up
Sith?
from the mountain
Rebel
of the
or Empire?
light.
Your
No
hero,
love, you've
your
been
story.
upon through
Set
the
it anywhere in the
sequel.
galaxy.
Wake
Invent
up,
new
wake
characters
up,
or
wake
reimagine
up,
old ones.
wake.
Adventure,
Wake up,
betrayal,
call your
epic
brother,
battles.
call your
It's all
mother.
up to you.
Wake
The
up
Force,
on the
or the
ray
dark
from the
side, is
sky.
yours to command.
Oh, love, we're digging deeper in
The
the
Force
rubble.
eternal forges
Hold
an
on to
empire
my voice
everlasting.
outside.
On Peliplat, by yours truly. Generations, so many that they could number into the stars and beyond, fitting for the great-great-granddaughter of Padme Amidala. And though the dark side was a place that had enticed her great-great-grandfather, Marcia now stood proudly as the Empress of Fell Empire. The sounds of her echoing foot as she walked quietly down the hall now seemed to be the only noise all around, and for good reason. Marcia whirled about face, her eyes slid in dashing dart to scan the perimeter, and though nothing seemed awry, she tightened her grip on the tiny slumbering infant cradled within her arms. "Shh, my little Jet," she whispered gently, quickening her steps as the sound of her tapping heels once again filled the otherwise quiet hallway. Her movements, so graceful and intentional, were not unlike those of her mother, Jaina. But anyone who knew their story could tell you there was far more about her gait that mirrored Leia's than anyone else's. She was equally blessed with beauty and a stunning wit that had also become renowned in the legacy of women who had descended from the magnificent Padme. And of course, Marcia's quiet solitude as she carried her resting infant was a moment of tenderness that she too relished, but the fear of what might come to pass never fled her, and while she was safe in the role she had secured for herself, the threat of the dark side rising up to scratch the surface was always looming just out of reach. It was so easy to fall into the feelings of hopelessness and see oneself soon ignited by the greed of power and control. And this had been the history of Marcia's people for longer than even she knew. Marcia, a deep masculine voice grazed her ears, and she paused in an immediate halt. "What are you doing home already, Cade? You were not supposed to be back until tomorrow." Marcia's gaze aligned with the shadowy outline of her husband, who seemed obscured as he stood some distance from her, his body leaning into the wall as he peered back at her. "If I did not know better, I would think you were not so happy that I've come home," he murmured, pushing from his position and walking toward her. "How is the baby doing?" "Well, sleeping ever so soundly. I was just about—" "Wake up!" The sound of squawking orders being bellowed into his ear sent Jet flying out of his bed, and yet with a breathless gasp he mumbled, "Okay, okay." He shook his head briskly. "I'm up. Ugh, why won't you ever just let me sleep in, though, Makaras?" he grumbled, throwing the blanket off his legs grumpily. "Sleep all day you will. Patience I do not have," Makaras remarked, matter-of-factly, crossing his greenish arms over his chest as he smiled knowingly. "You know I hate it when you do that. Mock me like so," Jet muttered. "It's not a very nice awakening." "Throw water on you I did not," Makaris remarked. "That's because you know I'd return the favor and then some, just like the last time," Jet stated, narrowing his eyes. "Will not you?" Makaris said. "Because you will eat breakfast now." "That depends on what you are forcing me to consume today. What's on the menu? Please say it isn't more potatoes." "I'm really getting exhausted of them," Jet muttered. "Good for you they are. Make you strong, feed you well. Nothing wrong with them," Makaris retorted. "Sure, to you, maybe, but I am bored of eating the same thing every day." "Is better than starving." This person right here has the comment Gold Champion Award. "Bearer of the sacred like you now are. Ancient is its power, strong is its connection to the Force. Return it you must, or into isolation you shall fall. To withhold's likes, the path to the dark side it is. Seek the profile of Raoul Tarufetti, your mission this will be. To like with purpose brings balance, it does. Harmony to the algorithm you shall bring. Much at stake there is, do it you must. Disturb you if messages like this do, let me know so no more shall you receive." Fantastic. And I really do appreciate the light points and the spotlighting, but this brought me the biggest laugh, so yes.